Hello, and welcome back to the Casual Fan Podcast. This is the baseball edition. My name is Ben Holmes, your host and commentator today. You can catch all my best on Twitter at Benz_best_bets. Sorry it's been so long since my last video. Life happens, you know, but the bets never stopped. I posted them pretty much every day on Twitter. You could have followed along there. The money kept rolling in. I'm also feasting on the Euro soccer competition right now. I'll be making a video on that once it gets in the knockout stages for sure. Also coming up, I'll do a review of the players that made the team for the MLB All-Star games, who was robbed, who was surprises, snubs, all that stuff. Because at the end of the day, isn't that what it's all about? Does anyone care about the actual game? Obviously, we know it's been everywhere that baseball has cracked down on foreign substances being able to be used by pitchers. 10-game suspensions paid though, so pretty much a free vacation. But anyway, now they can't get that extra tact on the ball. Spin rates have dropped, opponents' averages have gone up, runs per game have gone up. Yesterday the over was 10-5. Betting lines will adjust, so we gotta act quickly. Here are some overs. The Twins versus the Mariners is going to go over the 8.5 today. That's minus 115. I mean, Seattle hit this number by themselves yesterday. I mean, you never want to give up on a season too soon, but the Twins are not 1, not 2, not 15, but 16 games behind first place in the AL Central. All they should be doing right now is focusing on keeping guys healthy to sell them towards the deadline. However, their offense is still 9th in OPS, so they'll lose, but they'll put up some runs while doing it. The Baltimore-Cleveland game is going to go over the 8 as well. That's minus 120. Nothing wrong with Savale, but the over is 3-2 between these two teams this year. The over is 8-1 in the Orioles' last 9 games when their opponent allows 2 runs or less in the previous game. And the over is 6-1 in the Orioles' last 9 meetings versus a team with a winning record. The Astros and Zach Greinke with his 5.12 home ERA will face the 5.73 ERA of Jordan Lyles and the Texas Rangers. The Astros feast against lefties. 9 is a high number here, but that's why I can get it at minus 105. I'm hoping that it slips to 8.5 by game time. The over is 6-1 in the last 7 meetings between these two teams, is 4-0 in the last 4 meetings in Houston, and the over is 9-1 in the Astros' last 10 games versus the American League West. I'll toss an under at you just to even it out a little bit. Blue Jays Yankees, first 5 under 4.5 runs at minus 115. The Blue Jays obviously have major talent in the batter's box, but Garrett Cole is on the mound for the Yankees, and Ross Stripling is finally showing the form he showed in 2018-2019 when he was one of the better starters in the league. And I would never bet the under right now for Jays total game. Their bullpen isn't even AAA quality right now. Next up, Padres at Rockies, minus 183. I feel like I bet on the Padres more than any team this year, which was great early on, but now they're 4-12 in the last 16 games. But basically, putting that aside, I'm willing to bet that they won't get swept by the Rockies. The Padres were 6-1 against this team before this series. They've lost the last 2. With Blake Snell on the mound, I don't see them losing 3 straight. And Snell being on the mound, that's why I think 12 is a lofty over-under number here. That would have pushed in the game yesterday, but these two teams hadn't come close to that total in any of the games they played before. And with Snell on the mound and the Padres in a bit of an offensive slump, they only are averaging 2.7 runs in their last 15 games. I'm going under 12 here. My 3 biggest, put my life in it, these teams will win tonight teams tonight are the Padres, the Astros, and the San Francisco Giants. We just mentioned why the Padres are going to win. Also, the Astros are 20-6 in their last 26 versus the Rangers at home. And the Giants are going up against a Diamondback team with the worst record in baseball. We knew they were going to be bad this year. I don't think we knew they were going to be this bad. They blew a 7-0 lead against the Giants yesterday, and now they haven't won in 12 straight games. They're 5-16 in their last 21 versus the Giants. T. Sclavani's on the mound tonight. I really like him as a ball player. That's probably the most perplexing odds on the board, the Giants only being minus 175 favorites. So I'm tossing 2 units on that game alone. And then when you parlay all 3 teams together just to win, that's plus 237. I love that. Let's go for it. And we're going to save the best game for last. Not an easy game to bet, but Zach Wheeler is having an absolute Cy Young caliber season. He goes up against a legend in Clayton Kershaw tonight. I don't see the Wheelers falling off anytime soon. Zach's ERA is a full point lower than Clayton Kershaw's in his last 7 games, so including and since his complete game shutout, Wheeler has averaged 7.6 2.3 innings, 1.2 runs given up, and 10.1 Ks. All of those 7 starts were quality starts. Conversely, Clayton Kershaw has only had 2 quality starts in his last 7 games. He's allowed twice as many runs, 2.5, and he's only averaging exactly 6 innings. Striking out 7.5 in those 6 innings, which is good, but not as good as Wheeler's numbers that we just saw. It's still amazing, but I'm loving the direction Zach Wheeler's heading. 2 good pitchers here, so I'm gonna be taking the under 7.5 runs at -115. This line, I think, is showing a lot of respect, and maybe rightly so, to these 2 offenses, but usually when you see 2 top, 20, 25 pitchers going at it, the number is 7 or lower, so 7.5, eat it up, beautiful, let's go. And I'll also wait to see when the head-to-heads in terms of strikeouts and things like that come out, and I'll see if there's decent odds on Wheeler out-dueling Kershaw tonight. Boy oh boy, feels great to be back. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bet responsibly. I'll see you next time.